Hello, and welcome to the very first edition of whatever the hell this is eventually going to be called if I keep doing this. We're going to do an off-season outlook over the next month or so. I'm going to put together videos for every MLB team, all 30 MLB teams, running through how their roster looks right now, what they need, and what I think they should do. We're going to start at the bottom. Eventually, we'll get somewhere better. We can play the Drake song in the intro. But we're starting with the Rockies. And the Rockies were not good, to say the least, last year. I'm going to run through it quickly, just looking at how I have their, in my notes, how I have their lineup looking and their rotation. Hunter Goodman had a real good season behind the dish. One of the only real bright spots on this squad. Him, I'm a believer in Jordan Beck in left field. I think he's got like an all-star level ceiling. Zeke Tovar at short, really good 2024. A couple of injuries, not as good in 2025. You go around the diamond and there's not much else. Like, Adel Amador is still a young second baseman. I think he could get better. I think you got to give him a shot, especially because you're going to be garbage next year too. Zach Veen, prospect capital, good player. Brent Doyle in center. The way I have it lined up right now, like another player with a good 2024, bad 2025, fell off a cliff a little bit, but the king of that is Michael Tolia at first. Got to figure out what the hell's going on with that dude. I cannot imagine you want to keep him around, there's no point. There's no harm in keeping him around. You're going to be bad anyway. Maybe you can rebound and you can get something for him. They also have Warming Bernabel, great name, one of the best MLB best names in baseball right now. First name is Warming. That immediately warms me up to him a little bit. And then no fucking clue who's going to play third base. It's not going to be Chris Bryant because, one, Chris Bryant can't stay healthy. Two, he hates third base. Three, he's not very good. Or he hasn't been very good. But I have Chris Bryant in as a DH. No idea what their bench is going to look like. I don't think anybody does. And, there's not a lot going for you there. You got three guys that I think have like all-star level ceilings that are still 26 and under in Hunter Goodman, Zeke Tovar, and Jordan Beck. And then a couple of prospects that I like that are at the MLB level. Amador, Zach Veen, Warming Bernabel. What a name. What a guy. Rotation is, as of right now, is Kyle Freeland, who, like, despite having almost a 5 ERA last year, had a pretty much league average ERA plus. That's what happens when you play in Colorado. Still on a big contract, still there. Tony Senzatella is also there. He was bad, 6+ ERA. Every pitcher is kind of bad. Every starter is kind of bad. It's impossible to have 2 good seasons playing for the Rockies as a starter. One is possible. We've seen that in the past. Freeland's done it. Freeland had one of the most valuable seasons ever, 5 years ago, which is why they gave him a contract. But nobody can pitch in Colorado except for kind of Kyle Freeland. He's kind of league average. Senzatella. Chase Dolander, big-time prospect from last year, against over a 6 ERA, but maybe you can bring that down. He can have his one good season in Colorado. And I hope you kind of got to bank on that. You got to give him the chance to do that. Another youngish guy that had solid couple of starts was Ryan Feltner. 6 starts, 30 innings pitched, 4.75 ERA. Kind of solid. For Colorado, that's like the only guy that started games for them that had an above average ERA plus, which is wild. But not unexpected. So, I think Ryan Feltner's got to be in the rotation. And Tanner Gordon, sure. Who is he? The guy named Tanner plays in Colorado. Probably smokes a lot of weed. Pretty chill. But that's how I see their rotation looking right now. The bullpen, actually, kind of surprisingly good when I looked at it. Victor Vodnik's a stud. Jimmy Herget looked kind of like a stud. A couple of young guys in there, along with Vodnik's also young, but like Jaden Hill, a couple of innings, looked pretty good. I think his ERA was like 3.5 or something. Juan Mejia, kind of similar. He had like 60, 70 innings. Also looked pretty good. Seth Halverson was closer to 4, but he was closing games for them. He looked pretty good. So there's some bullpen arms in there. A couple of young guys, a couple of guys you think could potentially get better in like their second or third full MLB season. Which is interesting because their rotation and their lineup is just so goddamn garbage. In terms of prospects that are going to come up in effect, they got no pitching prospects on the way. All of their top prospects are hitters, which in Colorado, I guess, is a good way to play it, but like, it's really only 2 of them that could make an impact next year, and that's Charlie Condon and Rock Riggio. Everyone else is 2027, 2028, 2029. So, like, I mean, I guess you leave first base open to hope Charlie Condon comes up next year and does something real good. Maybe Rock Riggio can break spring training as the starting third baseman or the starting second baseman, and you move Amador to third. I don't know. Maybe that would work. You got him from the Yankees in the Ryan McMahon trade. But, like, the prospects, Ethan Holiday is the number 1 prospect. He's the guy that you're hoping becomes the superstar of the future. But he's probably not going to be around until 2027. He's not going to be up next year. Probably, I mean, I don't think, probably 2028, honestly. So it's, like, there's not a lot coming through. There are not a lot of pitchers coming through. The bullpen's solid, honestly, right now, but the starters, you just need guys that can pitch, that can only give up 3 runs in 6 innings in Colorado. Really, that's what you need. I don't know how you do that. I'm not a pitching coach. I'm a random fucking dude on the internet with a camera and a piece of paper with some notes on it about a team who likes baseball. That is the extent of my knowledge. So, I don't know how you develop a pitcher to play in Colorado, but you gotta kind of try and fucking do that. So what are they trying to do this offseason? Well, they gotta do whatever they can to get young pitchers in some way. Trade assets for young pitchers, and keep doing that because you only have Senzatella. You're only obligated to pay him for 1 more year. It's a team option for 27. Kyle Freeland's a vesting option for 27, 170 innings pitched. You got 3 more years of Chris Bryant, which is a pain in the ass, but I think you just DH him only and try and get him healthy and hitting so that maybe at the 2027 deadline you can eat half his contract and get a decent prospect back for him. If he's hitting like Chris Bryant of old, you can get a decent prospect back for him and just get out of some of that money. But just DH him, tell him don't run the bases, give him the Stanton treatment. Don't run the bases, don't play the field. Just fucking hit. That's all we need you to do. You're a designated hitter now. And then maybe you can get something for him in 1.5 years. Where he only has 1.5 years left on his contract. But you need young pitchers. Germán Marquez is gone. You're finally out of his contract, which is great. What assets do they have to trade? Not a lot. Could you get something for Michael Toglia? It's a team that believes they can get something out of him once he leaves Colorado. Maybe. Trade him to Miami or something and need a first baseman. Get some kind of young pitcher out of that. Brenton Doyle. Jimmy Herget. Herget's probably the most valuable guy. He's over 30. He's productive out of the bullpen. Good righty. He's got 2 more years of control. Could probably get a young pitcher out of that. Guy who maybe could develop into a back of the rotation starter, or a bullpen piece in the future. Tolia, you might be able to get you just need to throw darts at a dartboard. Brenton Doyle. Do you trade Brenton Doyle? A team that wants an elite, a solid defensive. His range isn't great, so solid defensive center fielder or great defensive corner outfielder who has had offensive production in the past. He's got offensive upside. Can you get something for Brenton Doyle? Maybe. You probably could. You get something solid for Brenton Doyle. You get something solid for Jimmy Herget. You probably can't get something solid for Michael Tolia, but he had a great year last year where he hit like 35 home runs. So maybe there's a team that believes that they could get that out of him and is willing to give you a pitcher for him. But you got to trade assets for young pitchers. That's goal number one. Goal number two, sign prove-it vets that you can trade at the deadline. The Rockies are horrible at trading at the deadline. I think we've kind of become infamous for it. But you got to, like guys that came to mind that I made note of here, like if you trade Brenton Doyle, go get Mike Tauchman, a guy who I assumed was going to be that exact type of player for the White Sox this year. They ended up not trading him. I think he was injured. Yoel Moncada, Gio Urshela, because I have no fucking clue who's going to play who's going to play third base for the Rockies this year. Lane Thomas, Austin Hayes, two more outfielders that can kind of play center, or you can just stick them in a corner. You don't want to sign guys that are going to prevent your young hitters from getting in the lineup. So, guys, you want Zach Bean playing every day. You want Jordan Beck playing every day. You want Amador. You want Tovar. You want Goodman. You want my boy Warming, the guy I'm warming on, Warming Bernabel. You want him in the lineup every day. So you want to get guys that are not going to take away from those players, but that at the deadline, if you can get these guys on 1-year contracts, you can move them at the deadline to a team that's competitive or that's trying to make a push. So guys like Tauchman, Moncada, Urshela, Lane Thomas, Austin Hayes make sense because they can kind of fill a need. They will play every day. They won't block the young guys. And they have the upside where you can trade them at the deadline for something, for more young pitchers, which is the goal. Get young pitchers. You're going to be bad next year. You're going to be bad in 2027. This is not a quick turnaround. This team is not good. Until Ethan Holiday's ready, this team is not going to have playoff aspirations. Tovar is under contract. Goodman is not, but he's still pre-arb. Same with Jordan Beck. Same with Zach Bean. Get these guys in the lineup every day and see what they got. And maybe in 2 years, when Ethan Holiday's ready, you got a core of 4 or 5 good young players. Play Rock Riggio. Play the young hitters. Get them at bats. You want all of these guys. Beck, Veen, Tovar, Amador, Goodman, Warming, Rock Riggio, Charlie Condon to all have 1,000 at-bats by the time that Ethan Holiday gets to the major leagues. Some of those guys are already there, but you want all of them to get to 1,000 before Ethan Holiday's a major leaguer. And to do that, you gotta play the young hitters. And you gotta just throw darts at the dartboard when it comes to pitchers. Just try stuff out. You only got 1 more year of your bad contracts, which is Senzatella and Freeland. You already got Adam Marquez. Just throw darts at the dartboards. I believe in Dolander. I think Dolander could have his 1 good Colorado season. Maybe he could be the first man ever to have 2 good Colorado seasons. Feltner showed a little bit. Tanner Gordon is chill. But you got a couple bullpen arms. You need young pitchers to just see if you can develop something in the next 2 years. And you gotta just go with it. Get Chris Bryant healthy enough to trade in 1.5 years. Get him healthy enough, productive enough, hitting, happy. He doesn't want to be there. You don't want him there anymore. Get him productive that you can trade him at the 2027 deadline with $20 million. So a team is willing to pay him $30 million over 1.5 years. Get it to that point so you can get something back for him. All right, that is offseason outlook for the Colorado Rockies. Next up is the Chicago White Sox.
Hooray!